The talented scientist gave his thanks once again to the guardian of the Lycris. I could imagine Yves slumped over on the other end of the transmitter. No matter how bad his luck was, he truly believed in his heart that I was a normal girl. But the truth was that I was death incarnate, robbing him of everything he held dear. That was all the despair I needed to completely shatter his heart. I no longer had the right to speak his name. Cyan. I'm just imagining Cyan's over here, like, celebrating. Ceres is over here, just done with life. Two totally different emotions. Cyan, who was excited by the discovery, flicked me on the forehead with his finger.
Nani? そう落ち込むな。これからお前には殺した以上の人間を救わせてやる。
Enough of the gloominess. You're gonna be saving more people than you killed. He quickly snapped out of his fervor, and just like that, returned to his usual calm self. He then grabbed my arm and forced me to walk over to the screen floating in the air.
俺は研究のために有益な犠牲は出すが、無駄な犠牲は出さない。
My research may require sacrifices, but they are for the greater good.
死神の娘、この国の呪いに対してお前は間違いなく有益だ。
Maiden of Death, as far as the curse of this land, you are also for the greater good. He quickly placed his finger onto the screen, and slid his finger to the side to change the display. Finally, I discovered the truth behind the curse that shrouded this country. Still, I needed to develop an antidote to cure the people of this genetic disorder, the Ervirsh. That said, genetic disorders were ingrained in the genes, making it close to impossible to fix them. Worse, the disorder was caused by those unique toxins. Developing a cure would be extremely difficult. Far more challenging than when I first established Reliver technology. Which I did only to pass the time.
ならば、まずは毒素を消滅させるのではなく、減少させる手を打つのが最善だ。
If so, then instead of trying to completely eliminate the toxin, the best approach is to reduce the toxin's effect. To do so was actually quite simple. I had to grow more lycracies, which would in turn reduce the toxins. I assume the man who called himself Death also saw such an effect when he had the Drifter in his bloodline grow the Lycris. That said, the allelopathy effect that could be gained from a single Lycris was negligible. There was also a lack of nutrients in the soil to grow masses of those flowers.
ならば品種改良したリコリスのワージュをこの国に咲かせればいい。
Then the solution would be to grow Lycoris neoges throughout the country that have been selectively bred. What I meant by selectively bred was,
リコリスのワージュよりも強力なアレロパシー能力を持つ花の化身、セレス城。
we need something or someone with the allelopathy properties stronger than the Lycoris neoges, my dear Ceres.
遺伝子編集によりお前のその能力をさらに引き上げた上で。
Through genetic modification, I can enhance those properties
お前のクローンを人の姿をした新たなリコリスとし、この国全土に生き埋めにさせてもらう。
Once finished, I will create clones to be buried alive throughout the country, as a new Lycris taking the form of a human. It's slightly disturbing to think that there's like a person buried. That's the cure. Alive. Everyone was completely stunned, including those hearing his plan through the transmitter. The genius loved by God continued.
無論根本的な解決にこそなっていないが、あと数年、1年でも延命ができれば、この俺が。
Of course, it's not a complete solution. But if I can live at least another year...
リライバー化で失った頭脳の成長、次の領域へと踏み出し、特効薬を開発してみせる。
I can work on reactivating the growth of my mind, which I lost when I became a reliver, thus allowing me to create an antidote. He announced his idea to save the country, with conviction. If Cyan could extend his longevity, he would likely succeed in finding the cure against the toxins in the soil. He had the persuasive power and talent to make that sound like a reality. Still, you're saying you want to clone me and bury my clones alive? So he wanted to use me instead of Lycris Neorches that purged toxins from the soil? Buried alive. Just the thought sent a chill down my spine. You're mad! Science scoffed at the statements. Of course he is, he's a
大のため
scientist.
に小を切り捨てる。人類が飽きるほど繰り返してきた生存戦略だろう。
I'm only thinking for the greater good. My suggestion is on the line with what humankind has done throughout history to survive.
たった一人の小娘を犠牲にするだけで、この国は長年の呪いから解放されるんだ。安いものじゃないか。
Think about it. Sacrificing a single girl will liberate this country from its long-standing curse.
では小娘本人の意思はどうだ？
What do you have to say about this?
先ほどから青ざめるだけで一切反論しようとする様子がないが。
How does he know what he's looking like? I guess he's imagining it. You've been looking at me with a pale face without even attempting to argue. Oh, send it to Ceres.
セレス、どうしたの？そんな計画の犠牲になるなんて絶対に嫌だろ。
Ceres, what's the matter? You don't want to sacrifice yourself for such a horrible plan, right?
遺伝子を編集するなんて、オリジナルである君に影響があってもおかしくないんだぞ。
Modifying your genes? Who knows what it would do to you as the original?
無論死ぬことになるだろうな。アレロパシー能力の強化イコール染色体が毒素に包まれる速度の上昇だ。
She would probably die. Strengthening her allelopathy traits would mean that her chromosomes would absorb toxins faster. Even so, with a single thought in my mind, I quickly but firmly began to speak. If that actually works, it would get rid of me as an existence that spreads death and misfortune to others. Which means I would save people, isn't that right? Cian gave a sinister smile, as Yves gasped. I realized. That's my mission. That's why I was born. After taking so many lives away, I could finally save them. Even if it was a twisted idea that caused excruciating pain. I was already wallowing in despair, so... Thank goodness. It was still a path leading me to hope.
聞いたな。他でもない本人が受け入れたんだ。その意志を尊重してやれ。
You heard her. She accepted it of her own free will, so respect her decision. Cyan then told me that he wasn't going to take no as an answer anyway.
それでも邪魔をするというのなら、俺は有する力すべてを持って、お前を徹底的に潰す。
Let me warn you. If you dare get in my way, I will use all my power to completely crush you.
待って。
Wait! No, hung up the phone. With nothing else to say after his warning, Cyan ended the transmission and grabbed my arm.
待って待ってセレスくそ
Wait, Cerez! Damn it!
これからどうするの？
What are we gonna do now?
そんなのすぐに彼女を助けに行くに決まって
Isn't it obvious? We have to go and save her! I held back my desire to slam the silent transmitter into the ground, putting it into my pocket instead. Meanwhile,
美しい遺伝子だとかコレクションだとか今のヤバヤバなセリフ
oh yeah, it is. Was that about beautiful genes and a collection? That all sounds really bad.
どういうわけか顔も声も変わってますがさてはあなたあのオーティさんですね
Now that I take a closer look, you look and sound different. But aren't you that Orty? The man on the ground was no longer able to put up a fight with his arms and legs broken. Yes, let's go! Donut crouched down, grabbing Dr. Cappuccine by the collar, to give him a good shake.
ダート君、カプシーナ先生にそんな乱暴したらかわいそうよ。
Donuts, please, you shouldn't do such a thing to Dr. Cappuccine.
いいんですよナディアこうされて当然のことをこの悪趣味男はしてたんですから
Give her all the tea. Oh, don't worry, Nadia. This lout deserves everything coming to him and then some, exactly.
どういうこと
What do you mean? I didn't fully understand what he meant, but it seemed like he knew Dr. Cappuccine before Dr. Cappuccine did something blameworthy. Donut let out a deep sigh, then told us the horrible incidents the doctor had caused.
先生がそんなひどいことを。
My doctor? He did such horrible things? Nadia, who had nearly fallen victim to Dr. Cappuccine, expressed genuine fear toward him. Oh yeah, with good reason. He sought out beautiful genes, inhumanly modifying them to curate a collection of new breeds of human. That is not a human that he made. Lucas Roots. That is a monstrosity. He conducted horrifying tests on his subjects, simply for his entertainment and greed. Even I couldn't feel love after what he had done. My face warped in disgust.
で、あれだけ毛嫌いしてたシアンさんに従ってるとか、今度は何をやらかしたんです？
So, you of all people hate Cian. So why in the world are you working for him?
違う。私はただ封じ込められていた彼女の美しさを引き出そうと。
You're mistaken. I was simply trying to bring out the true beauty that lay dormant inside her.
彼女。
By her, you mean
セレス君だ。
Cerez!
カルテの情報だけでそんな憶測をしてはいけませんよ。
We shouldn't make assumptions based solely on some old records.
それにこの情報のおかげで君の両親の身元がはっきりと分かったのですから。
At the very least, you finally found out who your parents are because of these medical records.
呪いを疑うよりも二人のことを調べる方が建設的だ。
Rather than suspect a curse, it may be more constructive to investigate your parents' case.
だがその前に、セレス君、君の血液を採取してもいいかな？
Before we go any further, Cerez, may I ask for a blood sample?
変死の原因が病だった場合、種類によっては君に遺伝していることもあり得るからね。
If the suicides are caused by some kind of disease, there's a chance it may be latent in you as well. Of course.
あの時の検査で彼女の遺伝子がリコリスに酷似していると気づいたんだ。
It was then I discovered that her genes were eerily similar to those of the Lacracies.
だが同時に見つかった妙な細胞が彼女の能力と美しさを封じ込めていたものだから。
But I also discovered that some of her oddly composed cells were sealing her true power and beauty. So, the freaking wine, juice, whatever.
そうそう。
I knew
事
they
情
should
を
have
知っ
never
た
drunk
カプ
that.
シーヌ先生も心配して薬湯を煎じてくださったんです。
Before I forget, Dr. Cappuccine heard what happened and prepared a herbal concoction for you two.
なんでも緊張をほぐす効果があるのだとか。よければ食後にでも二人で飲んでください。
He said it has a relaxing effect. Perhaps you can take it after dinner.
それを消滅させるための薬を何も知らないのんきなリュカに持たせ飲ませることに成功したというのに。
I prepared a drug that will remove those cells. Had that fool Lucas take it to her, which she drank as I expected.
それをあのシアンプロフィバーズが私よりも後から気づいたくせに。
But then that damn Cyan Brofies. He found out much later than I.
横取りしやがって。挙句の果てには今まで作り上げてきた遺伝子人形たちまで人質に。
How dare he take my work? And now he's even taking my gene dolls hostage? I hope they're destroyed. I couldn't take this any longer.
それ以上は結構です。
That's all we needed to hear from you. Bury him alive. I struck the back of Cappuccino's neck hard with the side of my hand to knock him out.
どうやら彼女の周りに 一定期間事故や死亡者が現れなかったのはその細胞抗体のおかげだったみたいですね。
It seems like the reason there weren't many issues for a short while was because of those cells, which I assume acted as antibodies.
でもそれにも限界があり、さらにはオーティカプシーヌのせいで元に死神に戻ってしまった。
But even those must have a limit. And Orti was the last trigger needed to return her to her state of death.
イブさんが倒れたのは能力が再発した彼女と狭い空間の中長期間共にいたからでしょう。
Yves, you probably felt ill because you were with her for an extended period of time in that room after her powers activated.
でもダハト君、その抗体っていうのがあれば彼女は普通に生活ができるんじゃないかしら。
But Donuts, these antibodies you speak of, aren't those enough for her to live life like anyone else?
残念ながら OT さん程度の薬で無効化されるような抗体では一定期間の効果しか望めないでしょう。
Unfortunately, the fact that someone like Orti is able to nullify them means that they're not strong enough to last forever.
むしろ重要なのは毒素に対抗できる抗体を彼女はどこで取り込んだのかですが。
The question now is, where she acquired such cells that kept her absorbed toxins at bay. Donut glanced at me as someone who actually recovered from the symptoms of death. I had a feeling he suspected me of knowing something, but I had no clue where she could have gotten those cells. Not only that, but I was out cold for a while, so I didn't remember anything that happened during the time. Suddenly, I heard footsteps stomping through the licorice near us.
いたぞ、取り囲め。
There he is! Surround him! Before we could move, the royal guard had us surrounded.
国王から命令が下りた。災いの花の所有者だろうが関係ない。
We're acting on orders from the king. It doesn't matter if he's the owner of flowers of misfortune.
国の守護のため、死神の使いたるこの男を即刻この場で処刑せよ。
For the sake of protecting our country, you'll be executed here and now for being the messenger of death. The soldiers drew their weapons and slowly moved toward me. I drew my sword and shielded Donuts, who was covering the trembling Nadia. There were too many of them. It was impossible for us to make our escape since I wasn't fully recovered. I straightened my mind in an effort to find a way to at least help two of them escape when... Vroom vroom vroom! A furious sound cut through the silence.
なんだあの車は。こちらに近づいてくるぞ。
What's that car doing? It's headed straight for us! The car trampled the licorice near us mercilessly as it sped our way. I'm grateful but scared. It then ruthlessly struck some of the soldiers surrounding us. Hit and run! The soldiers screamed and hollered in fear as they tried to dodge the car. The familiar electronic car moved and stopped between us and the soldiers.
イブさん、乗ってください。
Yves, hurry!
こっちだ。急げ。
Get in now! I heard Mathis's voice from the driver's seat and saw Adolf quickly jump out from the back seat. I quickly came to my senses and grabbed Donuts, while Adolf carried Nadia and got into the car. He is! He's playing Mario Kart! Or like, there's this old game I used to have on the GameCube. It was called like The Simpsons Hit and Run or something. Or like, basically, one of the things you could do, you could just drive the car around the place and run things over and create chaos, and it feels like that's what Mathis is doing. He's playing that game IRL. That's what it feels like. Mathis is Homer Simpson. The soldiers who avoided the car tried to stop us, but I actually have it. Let me go grab it. It's right over there. I haven't used my GameCube in ages, so I don't know if it still works, but this was the game. This was it. It was actually kind of fun. But that's literally Mathis. I'm gonna get this car going, so please hold tight. Keep your legs and hands inside the vehicle at all times. Before the soldiers could slash at us with their swords, the car took off at a startling speed. We were crammed in the back seats, and as expected, the drive was very rough.
どうして二人がここにこの衛兵に軟禁されてたんじゃ
What are you two doing here? I thought you were both under house arrest. I somehow held onto the back of the passenger seat as I asked Adolf, who was making sure Nadia was safe. Yes, poor Nadia. After this, Nadia's never gonna want to ride in the car ever again.
軟禁されている最中、お前らの命が危ないと書かれた妙な手紙が窓の隙間から届いた。
I found a weird letter slipped through my window that said you guys were in danger.
僕らを監視していた外のこの衛兵もその誰かによって倒されたみたいで。
The soldiers who were keeping watch of us outside were unconscious too.
イブさんを助けようと思い切って抜け出してきたんです。その時に偶然アドルフさんとも合流して。
So I figured I should try to come and save you. Yves. I happened to meet Adolf on the way. Mathis responded as he quickly turned the wheel to get into a straight road.
ヒューゴのこともその手紙に書かれてた。
Hugo! Let me out. The letter also mentioned what happened to Hugo.
辛かったな、イブ。
It must have been tough, Yves.
ああ。
Yeah. I nodded honestly, without putting on a strong front. Seeing me nod, Adolf gently placed his hand on my head. The fact that my partner was next to me didn't seem right. In fact, it felt horrible. It was as if I lost an important part of my body.
ひとまず 安全な場所に移動してから話し合いましょう。
Let's first head someplace safe. Then we can talk about what to do next.
この国やセレスさんの身に何が起きたのか僕らには全くわからないので。
After all, we have no clue what's happening in the country to Ceres or the country. I could tell Mathis was concerned about me by his voice and how he was now driving a lot more safely.
それならちょうどいい場所があると思うの。
Oh, I think I know the perfect place. With Nadia's suggestion, Yves and the others arrived at Lucas's house to stay in hiding. I remember this place. I was stuck in a cage here once. Lucas, who was now missing, gave her the keys so that they could use it as a base when needed. Yep, fun times, great times. With Lucas not around, the soldiers who were once there had disbanded. To be safe, Yves and the others entered from the back to gain access to the temporary haven. Nadia was put to bed, while the others gathered to share their information.
本当ならジャンもこの場にいるべきなんですが。
Jean should have actually been here with us to provide assistance, but
なぜか軟禁生活中に警備兵の皆さんに研究所へと連れて行かれてしまって。
they found out. I don't know how they found out, but they found out. For some reason, he was taken away by the guards from the Institute during my house arrest.
ジャンまで。
They took Jean?
はい。その連行中に違法や研究といった言葉が聞こえてきたような気も。
Yes. I recall the guards talking about something being illegal and unauthorized research.
あいつが研究所に咎められるような犯罪をするとは思えないが。
Oh, you have no idea. I can't see him committing a crime that the Institute would arrest him for. If only he knew. If only he knew. My child!
僕もそう思います。でもシアンさんが意味もなくそんなことをするとも思えません。
I happen to agree, but I also think that Sign isn't the type to take action without a good reason.
確かにさっき現れたこの衛兵もシアンさんの命令で来たわけじゃないみたいだし。
True. And it didn't seem like the Royal Guard soldiers were acting on Sign's orders.
邪魔をすれば潰すってことは邪魔をしなければ危害を加えるつもりはないってことだもんね。
He did say he would crush us if we got in his way. Which also means that if we don't, then he won't do anything to us.
邪魔？何の話だ？
Get in his way? What do you mean? Yves and Donut explained to Adolf what happened to his foster sister. They talked about the true nature of the country's curse and her inborn ability. They then went on to share the horrifying plan Science spoke of over the transmitter. The two braced for Adolf to go mad with rage, but contrary to their expectations, Adolf simply frowned and calmly responded to their explanation.
あいつの死にたがりは今に始まったことじゃないからな。
It's not the first time she wanted to die, you know.
それでお前たちはその計画とやらを聞いてどう思った？
So, what do you guys think of after hearing that plan?
セレスを犠牲にすればこの国が呪いから解放され多くの人間が救われることについて。
What are your thoughts about sacrificing Ceres to liberate the country from the curse and save the people? Everyone went silent at Adolf's earnest question.
研究者としての意見を述べるなら、
If I may comment as a researcher. Donut slowly raised his hand.
僕はシアンさんの計画に賛成するしかありません。
I would have to agree with the plan Cyan suggested. And it's understandable. Mathis looked at Donut as if he was betrayed. And in turn, Donut looked back with remorse.
もちろん、お友達としては助けたいと思ってます。でも、善悪の話じゃないんですよ。
Of course, I'd love to save her as her friend. But what we're talking about here isn't whether something is good or bad.
有史以来人類は実験体という犠牲を生むことで様々な病と戦ってきたんです。
Since the beginning of time, human beings have fought various diseases through the sacrifices of test subjects.
今回はそれが偶然彼女の番だった。それだけのお話。
It just so happens she was chosen as the sacrifice. Simple as that.
マティスさんだってこれが血も涙もない殺人鬼だったら見逃していたんじゃ。
Monsieur Claude, would you have saved her if you didn't know her and she was just a ruthless murderer?
それは。
Well... Of course Mathis was only thinking about saving her. But he had sought revenge all his life and never put much thought into the country or its future. He knew that no matter what he said, it wouldn't be very convincing.
イブさん。イブさんはもちろん彼女を助けに行きますよね。
He's like redirecting the conversation. Yves! Yves, you're gonna go save her, right? Which is why Mathen entrusted his hope to Yves sitting next to him. He was kind, strong, trusted by many, and she was someone special to him. Mathis was sure that Yves could be the hero who would stand up and save the captured princess right away. But... Yves gave a deep frown and didn't move, simply keeping his head down.
イブさん、どうしたんですか？
Yves? What's the matter?
勝ったって。
She...
彼女よかったって言ったんだ。
I heard her say, thank goodness, through the transmitter.
自分が死んでその死によって多くの命を救えることに。
She accepted death. She believes her death will save everyone's lives.
絶望も嘆きもなく、ただ純粋によかったって喜んでた。
She didn't cry or complain. She only said, Thank goodness. She was glad.
俺の言葉なんて何一つ聞かないまま、心の底から幸せそうに。
She didn't listen to a word I said. She was truly happy from the bottom of her heart.
彼女は救われないことに意味を求めてる。
She's looking for a reason not to be saved. Her voice, hopeful to be released from the hell that was her life, echoed in Yves's mind. It was too soon for her to die. There was still hope that things could change. I wanted her to live because I loved her. Simple words that could be said so easily. The past me could say them with no problem, but Cyan and I now knew that she was truly death, so
そんな言葉、彼女に絶望の中で生き続けろと言っているも同然だ。
telling her I want her to live is no different from telling her to live in despair forever. If so,
彼女を生かしたいという願いはあまりにも残酷じゃないか。
doesn't that mean that my wish for her to live is just cruel?
ヒューゴ
That
の
wasn't all.
最後を思い出すたびに
Every time I remember Hugo's death,
彼女のせいだったのかって醜い感情で責め立てたくなる自分がいる。
I can feel a disgusting, horrible emotion rising from inside me, trying to pin the blame on her. I mean, I understand. Sad though, but... It wasn't as though she was killing people because she wanted to. He knew that, but
こんな感情を抱いたまま俺は剣を取ることはできない。
I can't use my sword in the right state of mind while I'm holding on to these feelings. He would love her, even if she was death. Yves knew how pathetic he was for saying such a thing. He grabbed his own arm with trembling fingers.
ここまでイブにはいろいろあった。すぐに答えを出せる状態じゃないだろう。
You've been through a lot already, Yves. This isn't a time for you to give a sane answer.
ダハト、シアンが実験を開始するまでにはどの程度の猶予がある？
Donuts, how much time do you think we have before science starts its experiments?
あ、そうですね。どんなに早く見積もっても深夜2時頃かと。
Let me see. I project that the earliest he can get his experiment running is around 2 in the morning.
いくらシアンさんとはいえ、いろいろと準備があると思うので、今は僕たち研究員も不在ですし。
Even if it's Cyan we're talking about, he does still have to get things ready. Besides, he doesn't have any staff around to help. Adolf looked at the clock in the room. It was 8 at night now, so there was still time, even if the experiment started earlier.
少し休め。どう動くにせよ、体力は万全にしておく必要がある。
Get some rest. No matter your choice, you need to replenish your stamina for what's to come. Adolf checked the time again and patted Yves on the back.
ごめん。
Sorry, Adolf.
謝るなバカ。
Don't apologize, you idiots. I was sure he wanted to go and save his sister right away. Everyone moved to another room, letting me have a room for myself to rest. I've been sleeping a lot recently, so I didn't feel sleepy now, but I knew I was still tired beyond belief, so I decided to set myself down on the room's most comfortable-looking seat. For no reason, I took off my mask and looked up at the ceiling.
リュカ先生、無事だといいけれど。
I hope Lucas is safe. I didn't know why he was captured, but I doubted he was involved in the plan. All I could do was pray that he was safe.
リュカ先生も彼女とは昔からの知り合いだったんだよな。
Lucas has known her for a long time, hasn't he? I recalled how easy it was to learn the lessons he gave a number of times before. She was probably with him at the orphanage, listening with interest along with the other kids. I wouldn't be surprised if she had special feelings for an older guy like him. I recalled that some of the kids at the orphanage where I stayed had special feelings for him too. For all I knew, he could have been the first person Ceres admired. Ugh. He's getting jealous. What was I thinking? Do I want to use some happy memories of the past as an excuse to keep her living? Or maybe I had a different desire, of how she brought so much misfortune while leaving me with fond memories. The desire to curse her. I cupped my chin with both hands and struggled to clear my thoughts when...
さっきよりもひどい顔をしてるな。
You look worse now than you did before.
少し付き合え。酒の力でも借りないとお前に話せないことがある。
Keep me company for a while. I need to get a drink in before talking to you about something. My other friend appeared in front of me, with a huge bottle of wine in his hand. I quickly tried to put the mask back on, but Adolf simply waved his hand to tell me not to worry, despite being slightly surprised. He found 2 wine glasses and began to pour wine into them slowly.
こんな時にお酒なんて。
Lucas just keeps wine glasses in
し
his
かもこ
room.
れリュカ先生のじゃ。
Wine at a time like this? Isn't that Lucas's wine too?
数口程度なら平気だろう。先生にはナディアからの報酬だとでも言っておけ。
He won't mind us having a little. Just tell him that Nadia let you have it as a reward. We clinked our glasses into a toast, then raised our glasses to the moon shining outside the window to mourn our lost friend. Adolf had poured himself only 2 fingers of wine, and he took a slow sip from his glass.
俺から酒に誘うのはこれが初めてか。
I think this is the first time I asked you to drink with me.
いつもならヒューゴもこの場にいたんだがな。
It's weird, since Hugo would normally be here with us. I couldn't bring myself to drink, so I simply looked at the purple liquid in the glass, reflecting my hideous face. Adolf then told me something I didn't know.
俺が酒をあまり飲まないのは
You know I don't drink much.
酒よりもお前らのバカ騒ぎを見ている方が愉快だったからだ。
It's because I had more fun watching you two idiots having fun.
そうなんだ。
I didn't know that.
そうだよ、最初からな。お前、俺と初めて会った時のことを覚えてるか？
Yeah. From the very beginning. Do you remember when we first met? He accepted a simple nod in response.
剣術の才能があると先代に誘拐じゃねえ。
Our old leader saw the potential to be a great swordsman. Our old leader saw your potential to be a great swordsman. So he took... No.
強引に担がれてきたお前と慌ててそれを追いかけてきたヒューゴ。
He forced you onto his shoulder and appeared in front of me with Hugo chasing after you from behind.
わけのわからねえ状況だってのに、お前は俺に初対面から躊躇なく笑顔で話しかけてきた。
The whole scene was totally chaotic. But you still smiled and spoke to me like a friend.
あの時の俺は誰とも慣れ合わない。今より不愛想で無口なクーネの嫌われ者だったってのに。
I never really got along with anyone back then. I was so unfriendly and silent that everyone in Colwyn hated me.
それはせっかくできた兄弟子なんだし仲良くなりたいと思って。
I think he's so good looking. Well, since we were gonna be working together, I wanted to get to know you.
ああ、1年間無視し続けてもお前が話しかけてくるもんだからたまらず降参したよ。
Yeah. And you kept pestering me the whole damn year, even when I was giving you the cold shoulder. So I pretty much gave in.
そのうちお前の相棒であるヒューゴとも親しくなって野菜の作り方も教えてもらう仲になって。
From there, it didn't take long for me to become friends with Hugo. And you started teaching me how to grow vegetables. Hello, Silvercloak. Welcome in. Good to see ya.
気づけば自警団の活動中は常に3人共にいるのが当たり前になっていた。
I know what you mean, but I try not to think too much about it. Before long, it became normal for the three of us to hang out during our rounds with the corpse.
イブ、俺はな、お前と出会うまで
Yves, before I met you,
懸命に生きる優しい人間ばかりが利用され踏みにじられるこの国が、施設の家族以外の人間が大嫌いだった。
I'll probably learn more about this in his roots. Apart from everyone at the orphanage, I hated this damn country for abusing only the good and kind, just trying to make a living. He said didn't even open up to our previous leader. Since he wasn't from the orphanage, he spent his whole time focused on becoming a skilled fighter to protect those close to him. Adolf's face was slightly red, as he continued to tell me the thoughts and feelings he had kept inside for so long.
そんな俺の狭い世界を広げたのはお前だ、イブ。
You're the one who expanded my world to what it is now, Yves.
それはヒューゴも同じだっただろうさ。
It was probably the same with Hugo too. But I didn't do anything special or kind for him. The three of us just spent time together and had fun. But Adolf told me that it was exactly what saved him and Hugo. And sometimes that's all you need.
お前は俺に友人と飲む酒のうまさを教えた。
You taught me how great it is to drink with friends.
お前はヒューゴに自分自身で人生を決める意志を教えた。
You taught Hugo the importance of making his own life choices.
だったら今は分からなくても
So even if you don't know right now,
セレスにあいつにも新たな生きる喜びを作ってやることができるだろ。
I'm sure you'll also be able to help Ceres find joy in life too. It is. Notice he has a little blush on his cheek. That's cute. Something fell into the glass of wine, causing ripples on the surface.
いいの
Oh, he's crying again!
あそうしたいと願っても
Are you sure? Is it alright for me to find her happiness? Before I knew it, tears rolled down my cheek. A drop fell into the wine, then another.
悲しい彼女が本当に死神だったことが
It's so sad to know that she really was death.
憎いたとえ無自覚でもヒューゴを死なせた彼女のことが
I hate the fact that even if she was unaware, she killed Hugo.
情けない彼女の希望を裏切って絶望を叩きつけた俺自身が
I feel pathetic. I betrayed her hopes and threw her into despair myself. The negative emotions I thought I did away with were flowing out of me. It's the alcohol. Even so,
彼女を失いたくない恨んでるけど好きなんだ
I don't want to lose her. I may not like what happened, but I still love her.
なんだっていいんだ生きる理由を得てほしい
It doesn't matter. I just want her to have a reason to live.
俺が彼女の生きる理由になりたい
Aww. And I want to be her reason to live. But wouldn't that be betraying Hugo? My heart's.
なるわけないだろうが俺の相棒を何だと思ってる
Of course not. My partner is more of a man than that. I fought back against the faint whispers in my mind. My partner wasn't the kind of guy who would deny me human emotions. I wiped my tears away and drank the wine. Adolf laughed as I finished it in one gulp. The familiar taste reminded me of happier times, and I began to speak with confidence.
間違っていてもいい誰に糾弾されても構わない
I don't care if I'm wrong. I don't care if people blame me. Even if
彼女自身に激しく拒否されたとしても
Even if she refuses me with all her might. Even if the country's hope was lost. I would keep her alive until I found her reason to live. Aw. I didn't get a chance to go for Bloom Cater. That sounds cute. I crammed as much preserved food as I could into my stomach after days of lacking nutrition. Oh yeah, truly, I haven't eaten for like a week. I put on my cloak and sheathed my sharpened sword and scabbard. I tied my hair up again and put on a mask to hide the face that she said was beautiful. With Nadia's persuasion, Donut agreed to cooperate, leaving the house to go through a different route.
マム、ナディアのことを頼む。
Mother, please take care of Nadia.
ええ、責任を持って預かるわ。
Yes, you can count on me. Sister Salome, who arrived to offer help, nodded kindly in response.
ありもしない。大げさな噂を流したこと。あの子は恨んでいるかしら。
I wonder if she hates me now that she knows that I'm the one who spread that rumor about her. That was actually kind of shitty.
でもそれは彼女を守るために仕方なく行ったことですよね。
But you only did that because you didn't have any other way of protecting her, right?
ああ、マムの嘘がなければもっと早くあいつはシアンやカプシーヌの実験体になっていたかもしれない。
Okay, true, yeah. Yeah, if Muffer didn't keep lying, Ceres would have been a guinea pig to Cyan or Capuchin a lot sooner.
本音を言うとね、寿命が延びるかもしれないと聞いたとき、私は一瞬だけ喜んでしまった。
To be honest, I was sincerely happy when I heard there was a chance we could live longer lives.
でもね、やっぱりダメだわ。あの子を理不尽に失った未来で幸福に生きる自分が想像できない。
But it still doesn't sit well with me. I can't imagine exchanging her future for everyone else's happiness.
イブさん、あの子のことをよろしくお願いします。
Yves, please do take care of her. I gave my oath to Sister Salome.
イブさん。
What did I just think, salami? Maybe I'm hungry. Yves.
ナディア、君のお兄さんのことも任せて。必ず彼女と一緒に連れて帰ってくる。
Nadia, you can leave your brother to me. I'll make sure he comes back with her safely.
私、ここで兄様の無事をお祈りしてるわ。
Your mother's salami. Thank you. I pray for him to come home safe and sound. Where's the cheese? I approached a young girl sitting on the chair and wrapped my pinky finger around hers, the way my family had done for generations. Aw. Finally, I slapped my cheeks with my hands to lift my spirits. Now it's gonna be stuck in my mind too.
ようやく答えが出た。
Sorry for the waits. I'm ready now. I couldn't say it didn't bother me. The idea that I was working against the extending and longevity of the people. But I turned to everyone waiting for me and gave them my best possible smile. I wasn't turning my back on the people as revenge for their betraying me and treating me badly in so many ways. All that happened was I finally decided who was the most important to me. The time was 1 a.m. You only have an hour. You better get going.
行こうか、みんな。
How did so much time pass by? It was like literally 8 p.m. Just like it felt like it could be an hour ago their time.
この国のすべての命より、俺は彼女の命と愛を取る。
Even at the expense of the country, I chose her life and her love. I gave my declaration of war to regain my beloved death. Meanwhile, a place hidden from sight. An underground laboratory where criminals were used as expendable test subjects. On the bed was a young man sound asleep, with tubes connected to his body.
なあ、こんな大量の薬を打って大丈夫なのか？ここに閉じ込められてから一度も起きないぞ、こいつ。
Hey, are you sure about all these drugs? This guy hasn't woken up once since he's been here.
所長からの命令に文句を言うなよ。あの人が大丈夫って言ってるなら大丈夫だろ、きっと。
Just keep to what our director told us to do. If he says everything is fine, then it's fine, right? Two of science researchers were monitoring the young man's condition.
むしろ打たない方がまずいらしい。意識を取り戻した瞬間に暴れるから、薬を絶やさず眠らせ続けろって。
He said we need to keep these on. Something about him needing to be asleep or else he'll go berserk.
あとなんか全身薬漬けになってるから、それも一緒に抜くってさ。
Oh, and since he has drugs in his system, this is gonna detox him too.
本当にこいつがブローなのか？
Is this guy really Burrow?
こんな細い体でどうやってあの重いハルバードを振るうって言うんだよ。
I mean, he's so skinny. I can't imagine him swinging around that heavy halberd. And neither can I, but he can.
あれ、うちの警備兵が3人がかりでようやく持ち上げたって聞いたもんな。モテるならほんと化け物だよ。
Well, I heard it took three of our guys to finally lift that thing. So if he really was using it, then make him a monster.
その化け物も今回の計画が終われば所長の実験体か。見た目は一般人だ。少し哀れに思え。
Now that monsters are director's future test subjects, I sort of feel bad for the guy, especially since he looks...
うわ、なんだ？
looks alive! What the... They looked up with confusion as a loud sound shook the ceiling above. Before they could react, the young man pulled the tubes off and extended his arm. He grabbed the researcher's head and crushed him, dyeing to sheets in red. They didn't give him enough drugs. They underestimated Lucas. I still think that egg thing is so pretty. I was standing inside a locked capsule with something that felt like a strange film of water surrounding me. When I touched it, it felt soft but resilient. Something that couldn't be easily torn through. Outside this egg-like capsule was Cyan moving about, managing the system and its equipment. But he was working so quickly and efficiently that I really didn't think he needed any help from staff. If your plan succeeds, then we may not need to resort to reliver technology in the future.
その時は次の研究テーマを探すまでだ。
If that happens, I'll just explore another scientific discipline.
なんなら外で研究されているという時を超越する技術あたりに手を出すのも一興か。
Time travel! Just casually, I might dabble in time travel. In fact, I may even begin dabbling in foreign research about leaping through time. Leaping through time? I mean, if he did, he could probably solve the situation before it gets too bad. Is that really possible?
俺が参加すればな。だがその前にけじめとしてこの国の呪いを解いていく。
If I participate in the research, then yes. But before that, I'm gonna solve the country's curse, to tie up all the loose ends. Bruh. Plans to become Doctor Who. The device I was in was special, as I could hear exactly what Cyan was saying from inside the capsule and vice versa. Cyan quietly began to talk about his life. He told me how he developed reliver technology, at great expense to his family, so he could buy time to lift the curse. But since reliver bodies experienced little to no growth, it hampered his ability to progress through his research. The genius loved by God said,
お前の犠牲を無駄にするつもりはない。
I have no intention of making your sacrifice be for naught. He finished his preparations, and all that was left was to put the experiments into motion. The capsule brightened with lights that traced the form of a double helix, which was slowly drawn upon my body. It didn't hurt, but I shuddered from the unnatural movements of my blood running throughout my body.
その例とは言わんが、この実験が完了次第、クルーンの安全は保証しよう。
This isn't much, thanks. But I promise you that Karun will be safe once this experiment has concluded.
メモリークラッシュの件もまあ、俺が次の領域に至り次第、解決しておいてやる。手段がないわけではないからな。
As for the memory crash issue, once I can push myself to the next domain, I'll find a way to resolve that too. Thank you very much. Yves told me before that he wants someone who would love him. So it would defeat the purpose if the technology can't retain emotions of love. Hearing my words, Cyan moved his hand away from the system when a siren pierced through the air to notify of intruders.
移せ。
Screen on. At Cyan's command, a projection appeared, displaying the outside of the institutes.
悪いが前言撤回だ、死神の娘。クルーンの安全は保証してやれん。
I rescind my earlier statement made in the death. I can no longer promise Karun's safety.
これから俺が奪うことになるからな。
After all, I'll have to take him down myself. Uh-huh. He's come to save her. An electric car rammed through the gates. Through the flowers and into the building. Out from the car appeared a man with a sword. It seemed as if he knew where the cameras were located. He waved his hand to us.
どうも、安心安全のクルーンです。
Hello, it's Karun from Coin.
自分自身からの依頼で大事な恋人を迎えに来ました。
I received a work order from myself to retrieve my sweetheart. Oh, that's cute. A work order for myself. What was he doing? He is. He's such a cutie pie. I could save the people of this country. As someone who knew kindness, why wasn't he happy with my decision? Just as I was about to say so. Ah! The genes forming my body. They were telling me to evolve. Insert like the Pokemon evolution song. What will she evolve into? A sensation. Heat rising. The pain. Yeah, literally, who's that Pokemon? It's Pikachu! No, it's not, damn it. I screamed in agony from the surging pain and the raging heat running through my body. Then, I don't know, Cyan just goes on to become a Pokemon trainer. I didn't have much time left before becoming an incarnation of the Lycoris Neorsh. 10 minutes and counting. If Yves is gonna do this, he better do this fast. It's 10 minutes, anime time. He would be an interesting gym leader. I mean, he has the pose. He has the dramatic pose already, so... have his hand back like this and just be holding a Pokemon ball, a ball or something. He's got the pose down, so... Mathis offered to stay behind near the entrance, to keep the royal guard at bay. Yves and Adolf rushed inside, and headed to the laboratory deep within the institute. There's intruders! Kill them before they get to the director! If we keep them away from her, we're all going to be able to live life the way it was meant to be. The guards who had learned of Cyan's plan sent the arrows through the air, which were swatted away by the intruders with a sword. Before the next set of arrows were released, Yves jumped. He ran a few steps across the wall, and quickly closed the distance. He landed right behind a stunned soldier.
ごめん、少しおとなしくしてて。
Sorry, but I need you guys to quiet. He landed a safe but powerful blow on the guards. Adolf rushed them and destroyed their weapons.
お前は猫か
What are you, a cat? I was gonna say, he can just walk on walls.
ブローほどじゃないけど身軽でしょ
Not as good as Burrow, but that was pretty good, right?
殺せ殺せクーネの一般人などに遅れを取るな
Kill them! Don't let the Korean commoners get through!
この国に生まれた神に仕える兵としての矜持を見せろ
Show them our pride as soldiers who were born in this country to serve our God, our Lord and Savior. Praise Zion! Yves kept going, even as he joked with Adolf from time to time. He thrusted, sliced, cut, and punched. Amen! They both took down the guards, coming toward us in waves, as they made their way through this facility using information provided by Donut. But
所長の邪魔をする悪魔めただの人間として生きたくはないのか
you monsters are going to get in the way of our director? Don't you want to live like normal humans? They soon noticed that the guards were different from the royal guards, and there were more here than previously expected. Something wasn't right. There shouldn't have been so many guards assigned to the institutes. Yves struck a guard, rushing forward with a club. But from behind that guard came... Die! Another one, with the same face, appeared and lunged at Yves. Twins? Yves again knocked him out cold before coming to a realization.
警備兵のリライバーを生死問わずに量
Oh
産してるんだ
yeah! Is he mass producing Reliver clones as an expendable army?
くそそこまであいつの命が欲しいか敵が増え続ける一方じゃどうしようもない
Does he want you dead that badly? We're not gonna keep up if they keep coming at us like this. Of course, Yves wasn't back to full health as he was still under the toxin's effect. Forcing their way through the mapped routes would only put them at further risk.
イブ別のルートを進
Yves, let's look for another way.
お前が俺と敵対する道を選ぶのは予想していたのでな。オーティを拷問し始めた時から対策していたんだ。
I predicted you would face me. Which is why I had everything planned back when I started torturing Oti.
リライバーを軍事運用するなど俺の信念に反するが、今回は特別だ。
Using Reliver technology for military use goes against my ideals, but I'll make this an exception.
この国の人間を救うという俺の使命は邪魔させん。
I won't let you get in the way of my mission to save the people of this country.
第3次、第4次生産部隊、侵入者を挟み込め。
Squad
受け取り
3?
が望ましいが、この際生死は問わん。
Squad 3, Squad 4, charge in and corner the intruders from both sides. I want them dead or alive. Preferably alive. I mean, at least preferably, so. Osion's ruthless order took immediate effect. The newly produced guards appeared from around the corner and surrounded them. The two of them braced for the worst as guards drew their weapons ready to attack. The guard toward the front were blown back by the wall next to them exploding. What
なんだ
the heck? Yves and Adolf somehow avoided the rubble and kept their guard up. The corridor was filled with smoke and dust.
あの男。
Was that loud? Behind the crumbled wall appeared a powerful kick to create way to get through.
人並みの体制と言っておきながら、一体どれだけの薬を私に。
He said himself that the drugs weren't potent. If so, then how did he administer it to me? With a giant halberd in hand, the man wiped away the blood from his lips.
リュカ先生、なんでここに、というか、その格好。
Lucas? What in the world are you? No. Wait. Your clothes!
まさか、あんたがブローの正体。
Don't tell me. You're Burrow? Lucas looked up at the two of them as they readied their weapons.
事情は後ほど。私も投与された薬の影響でかなり体力が落ちています。
I can explain later. The drugs that were injected into me have taken a toll on my body.
セレス君を助けるのでしょう。また囲まれる前に一気に突破します。
You're going to save Cerez, right? Let's get going before the next wave of guards arrive. I love how they're all just grouping together to save Cerez. Even if they all die. More guards appeared from the fronts, but they were greeted by Lucas's halberd, which blew them back onto the floor. He used the blunt side of his halberd, so the men on the ground should still be alive under the rubble. With no time to be surprised by the sudden events, Yves and the others quickly continued on their way.
リュカ先生、ナディアが心配してましたよ。
Lucas, Nadia is worried about you.
この後どうするつもりかは知らねえが、一度ぐらいは顔を見せて安心させてやれ。
I have no idea what you're planning to do later, but at least show your face to her so she knows you're safe.
ええ、そのつもりです。あの子を保護してくださりありがとうございます。
Yes, I am planning to do that. Thank you very much for keeping her safe. With Lucas training them, they quickly made their way through the raid of guards without much effort. Yay, Lucas joined the party! Yves and the others advanced deeper into the facility. Into the same hallway. It wasn't strange to assume that Sign had considered the possibility of Lucas's appearance. After Lucas cleanly swatted down the errors unleashed at them, the door adjacent to the corridor opened. Lucas barely blocked a strike that came from the shadow of the open door. Out from the door appeared the same halberd used to block the strike. The ultimate showdown. Lucas against Lucas. Another Lucas?
こいつもリライバーか。
Must be another reliver. Adolf raised his sword to strike the fake Lucas when... Sensing danger, Yves and Adolf leapt back at the same time. Two shadows appeared from above, swinging their halberds down onto the floor where the two had just stood.
冗談だろ。
You've got to be kidding.
ブローのリライバーが2人。いや、
Two burrow relivers? No way. More fake Lucas clones appeared from behind. Lucas, who wasn't at full health, somehow struck down his clone. But it didn't change the situation much.
戦うな。すべて避けなさい。
Don't bother with them, just avoid their attacks. As if his loud warning was to trigger. The Blade of Barreau clones began to swarm Yves and the others. Yves somehow avoided the weapons from reaching him, but... Despite the clones not having a thought of their own, they slowed down Lucas considerably. Even Yves, who was avoiding the blades, slowly began to take hits, some of them deep. Why you... Lucas swung his halberd fearlessly to take down his clones, but a few of them braced for the impact to block him. Lucas's shoulder was torn open. Lucas! Adolf covered Lucas and took the next hit, and was blown back along with him. They were supposed to be Lucas's clones, but they didn't show the same love for their former students, nor were they sane. They impassionately came forward to crush Yves' head with their halberds. The sound of something being pierced, and from the clones appeared drops of red blood. The backs of the clones were covered with arrows, making them look like angels with wings. Yves!
イブとアドルフを援護しろ。もう攻撃しちまったんだ。後には引けねえぞ。
Yeah, I almost forgot they came. It's Yves and Adolf. Cover them. We've shot those fakes, so there's no turning back now.
顔を出してるブローは味方だ。間違っても手を出すなよ。
The Barreau without the face covering is on our side. Leave him alone and go for the others. They were the corpse members who hadn't shown their faces since the depths. They kept their distance the whole time to avoid suspicion of being with Yves, and with some even holding a grudge against him. And now, those very men were here with their swords in hand to face an army of clones.
What?
Wait! Before Yves could stop them, some clones began to move again, quickly slashing at the men and killing a few.
やめろ、お前ら。
Get out of here, you guys! Even Adolf's yelling wasn't enough to change the situation. Each time the clones directed their attacks to Yves and the others, the men charged in to help, only to be killed. It's a lot of blood. Don't think about killing them. Just get their attention so that Yves and the leader can keep moving. Yeah, and remember that turning our backs now will only piss off Hugo.
悪いな。俺、今度からお前らとは酒飲まねえわ。
Sorry guys, I can't go out for drinks anymore.
仲間を売った気まずさの中、しけた酒を飲むよりも。
You seriously think I'd sell out my buddy for some booze?
セレスの飯を食いながら、イブとバカ騒ぎする酒の方がよっぽどうめえからな。
There's nothing better than eating Cereza's dishes and having fun with Yves.
酒の味なんて一緒に飲む相手でいくらでも変わるのによ。それがわからないなんざ、かわいそうなことで。
You'd be surprised how the taste of booze can change depending on who you drink it with. Too bad you guys don't know about that.
結局あいつにケツ蹴られてから動き出すのに結構時間かかっちまったな。
That bastard. Guess it took us this long to finally get his message, huh?
悪いイブ、お前が毎回持ってきてくれる酒すげえうまかったぞ。
Sorry, Yves. Forgot to tell you how good the drinks you brought were.
死神の呪いよりうまい飯を取ると言ったのは俺らの方だったよな。
You know, we totally forgot that we said we'd take good food over some stupid death curse.
そんなことも忘れるなんて、俺の記憶力は鶏以下か。彼女にも料理うまかったって伝えといてくれ。
Damn my stupid memory for forgetting something like that. Make sure you tell her that our food was the best.
しかし意外といいな。後がないって分かった上で大事なもんのために戦えるのは。
Well, now this ain't all that bad. Feels good being able to fight for something. Knowing that you can only move forward now.
償いになんてならんだろうが、せめてお前らを先に送り出せ。
I know it's not much, but we'll do what we can to let you guys continue. Everyone was dying, one by one, to protect Yves and apologize to him.
やめてくれ。償いなんていらない。もうそれ以上は。
Stop it. You don't need to do this to me, for me. Just get out of...
行きますよ、イブ君。
Let's go, Yves.
あいつらの覚悟を無駄にするな。
Don't let their sacrifice go to waste. Adolf forcefully grabbed Yves' arm and began to run with Lucas leading the way. I know! And they were all so, like, happy going out. They're all, like, acting so positive while they go out and die. It's kind of heartbreaking. But the clones that cleaved away at the corpse turned around to give chase, closing in on them quickly. The remaining corp members fired their arrows, but it wasn't enough to stop them.
ちなみにあれはお客様用の館内ナビゲートなので、特に使用者の制限はされてません。
By the way, that projection is a simple navigational tool for guests, so there's no restriction on who can use them.
もしも僕とはぐれて迷子になってしまったら、あのシステムに話しかければ案内してもらえますよ。
If you ever get lost, simply talk to the display and it'll offer you the help you need.
た、だ、し。
But...
右下に表示される緊急マークだけは絶対に押さないでくださいね。
don't you dare touch the emergency icon displayed at the bottom right-hand corner. You know, the big red button one.
あれをうっかり押すと防火用の隔壁が降りてきてしばらく閉じ込められちゃいますから。
Pressing that will activate the emergency barrier to prevent the spread of fire, completely sealing off the area. Which is what we need right now. Adolf quickly hit the emergency mark as he ran past the projected navigational tool. Suddenly, a thick and transparent glass wall began to lower ahead of them.
なるほど。確かにあれなら足止めに。
I see. That should do the trick. It should, but Lucas, who was in front, would be able to run past the lowering door, but Yves and Adolf won't make it in time. Lucas slid under the gap above the floor, as the space grew smaller and smaller.
こうなったらリュカ先生だけでも先に。
As long as Lucas can get to her, then he should be able to save his students, Ceres, before it was too late. With that thought in mind, Yves raised his sword to fight alongside Adolf, but
ダメだ。お前があいつを迎えに行け。
no. You go on ahead. Adolf quickly turned around and kicked Yves hard. Yves flew backward, barely making it under the wall just before it could touch the floor. Yves groaned from the hard hits and slowly raised his head to see that the glass wall was completely shut. What?
Adolf, 何を?
What the heck, Adolf?
見ての通り、俺は間に合わなかった。先に行け。
As you can see, I couldn't make it under in time. Get moving.
あいつだって心の底ではきっとお前を待ってる。
I'm sure deep down, she's waiting for you. Damn.
ふざけるなよ。こんなこと誰が頼んだ。
Damn you! I never asked for you to do this!
開けろ。今すぐこっちに来い。アドルフ、みんなも。
Open this! You have to come with us, Adolf. Everyone! He slammed his fist against the glass wall, only to draw blood from his hands.
ダメか。今の私では壊せない。
It's no use. Even I can't break the wall. Lucas tried to help by striking the wall, but nothing changed. Even with his superhuman strength, that is a very strong wall then. Dang. Yves continued to strike at the glass wall over and over. The men who wanted them to move on were dying in front of his eyes, one by one. That also meant that the clones would soon come in for the kill. First by going after Adolf, who was blocking the way.
頼むよ。開けてくれ。
Please, you have to open this.
俺はもうこれ以上大切な友人を失いたくない。
I don't want this. I don't want to lose my friends anymore.
彼女だって君を失ったと知ったらどれだけ絶望すると思うんだ。
It's the same for her too. She's gonna be devastated if she finds out we lost you.
絶望した分、お前が希望を与えてやれ。イブ。
Then heal her with all the hope you can give, Yves.
妹を守るのは兄の役目でもあるだろう。
It's the duty of a brother to protect his little sister, right? The strength in Yves' fists, slamming against the wall, were beginning to weaken. Yves could tell Adolf was smiling, even with his back turned.
なあ、イブ。
Hey, Yves?
シアンはセレスのことをリコリス・ノワージの化身と呼んだ。
Sian said that Ceres is the manifestation of the Lycoris Neurges.
ならきっとあいつを本当の意味で救い守ることができるのは。
If so, there's only one person I know who's fit to save and protect her.
狭い場所に閉じ込め騎士を気取っていた俺じゃなく、
Not some fake knight like me, who tried to hide her away from evil.
あいつの手を取り幸せに憧れることを教えてやった。
It's someone who actually held her hand and taught her what happiness is really about.
リコリス・ノワージの守護者であるお前以外いないだろ。
In other words, it's you, Guardian of the Lycoris Neurges.
だから俺たちのことも寿命のことも気にするな。
So don't worry about us or everyone else's longevity.
悲観的な俺の妹をどうか頼む。
Take care of my poor little sister, okay?
やだ、待ってくれアドルフ。
No! Wait, Adolf! A shadow fell on the smiling Adolf. Beyond a glass wall, Adolf readied his weapon to take down as many clones as possible. In front of Yves's eyes, his comrades fell, and then...
あいつが俺を兄と呼ぶときを結構楽しみにしていたんだがな。
You know, I actually liked how she sometimes called me her brother. Adolf bloomed into a bright red flower. He's just losing everyone. This hurts. Yves was prepared to die. He was not prepared to mourn the others who died in his place. It's especially sad because, I mean, Lucas is gonna die of I guess, natural causes. One way or another. The curse. Mathis will also die because he doesn't have a... Oh gosh, why did... Because of his, you know, in his roots. I don't know why I want to call him Leon. He has to be, in order for him to survive, he would have to be occasionally hooked up to that monitor computer thing, and his memories all scrambled. So with him not around, Mathis will also die. And all the crew members are being slaughtered off. Yeah, dependent on the memory downloads. So literally, this kind of leaves Yves all alone. Which is probably the saddest part. After losing his second friend, Yves broke down and sobbed. I guess maybe he could make friends with Bonko, but... No one behind the glass wall survived. The Lucas clones had also been killed through the determination of the corpse members in Adolf's last stand.
私のような化け物がいなければこんな悲劇は起きなかったのか。
I'm excited for the fan disc. Although obviously it will be more... There's bound to be more pain in there. But it'll be nice to see everyone again. This wouldn't have happened if a monster like me was never born. Unable to bear the guilt, Lucas tried to apologize to Yves, who had his back turned. I need to go. Yves took a deep breath. He forced the words out of his mouth. He told himself that it was too early to wallow in despair, and that he needed to keep his head up.
何があっても彼女を迎えに行くって。
I need to go. I have to save her, no matter what.
俺はアドルフと一緒に決めたんだ。
That's what Adolf and I decided. He rose with the strength given to him. He needed to go. After all, he was the one who decided to go on this unavoidable path. He had no other choice. Lucas quietly followed behind Yves, who was walking on with unsteady steps. The two continued on their way, taking down each wave of guards that appeared. Soon enough, Yves and Lucas arrived at the final corridor that led to the depths of the Institute.
この先に彼女が。
She's beyond this corridor. And beyond the corridor was also a certain someone he needed to put an end to. Seeing Yves's tear-stained face, Lucas slowly began to speak.
一つ質問です。イブ君。君は
A question for you, Yves. What if...
もし救出が間に合わず、彼女がクローンの母体になってしまったら、どうするつもりですか？
What if it's too late? What will you do if she's already turned into a clone? If she's already into a cloning subject? Yves quickly stopped upon sensing something ominous about his question. Lucas also stopped and looked at Yves as if they were in class.
どうしてそんなことを今聞くんです？
Why are you asking me that now?
君の回答次第で私の行動が変わるからです。
Because my course of action will change depending on your reply. Suddenly, tension built up around them.
リライバーのオリジナルになるなど、悪魔を生み落とし、魂ごと汚れたも同然。
If she turns into a reliver cloning subject, it'll be as though she's the mother of these demons.
きっとそんなおぞましい状況、彼女も受け入れられないでしょう。
I'm sure she cannot accept such a horrifying fate. If they didn't make it in time,
私が自ら殺して差し上げることが彼女にとって唯一の救いになるかと。
I believe her only means of salvation would be if I killed her myself. A declaration with a smile. Yves raised his sword in a quiet reply.
どういうつもりですか、イブ君。
What is the meaning of this, Yves?
そんな質問に意味はありません。
That question is meaningless.
俺は彼女がどんな存在になったとしても
After all,
迎えに行くつもりですから。
I intend on saving her, no matter who or what she is.
善意だろうと殺されるのは困ります。それから彼女の能力を治療できる才能を持つシアンさんも。
Even if your intentions are good, I don't want you to kill her. Same goes for Cyan, who has the ability to cure her. Lucas was impressed that Yves had sensed his intention to kill Cyan. He readied his weapon and prepared to face Yves, who showed no sign of backing down. They glared at each other for a moment. A drop of sweat rolled down Yves's cheek.
さすがに
Impossible.
大事な教え子たちを二人も殺す気にはなれません。
There's no way I can kill two of my precious students. An unexpected reply. Yves looked stunned, expecting them to go right into battle.
満点の回答です。試すような真似をして申し訳ない。
You gave a perfect answer. I'm sorry for testing you. No.
本当に試したかったのは私自身だったのかも。
Rather, I was likely testing my own self.
どうも目が覚めてから狂っていない自分に違和感が拭えないものって。
Since my reawakening, I haven't been able to shake off the odd sense that I've gone mad. At the end of his sentence, Lucas quickly struck an arrow that came from behind. Lucas turned his back to Yves, looking down the corridor they went through.
梅雨払いはお任せを。シアン・ブロフィワーズへの指導も君にお任せします。
Let me handle this. I trust you will teach Saiyan Burfies a lesson in my place?
ですが、その前に一つ。武術をたしなむ先達としての助言を。イブ君。
Before you go, let me give you some advice about fighting, Yves.
7年前の火事をきっかけに、痛覚のほとんどを失っていますね。
If I'm not mistaken, your sense of pain has dulled because of that fire 7 years ago.
気づいてたんですか？
You noticed?
どんなに怪我を負っても平然と笑っている姿を見れば、知識のある者はすぐに察しますよ。
Like when he fell through the roof. You were always smiling even after the worst of injuries. Someone with the right knowledge could tell quite easily. Lucas smiled beautifully and went on to say that he had also noticed because Yves was his former student.
その欠落は人助けや武術には役立つかもしれません。
That defect of yours may help you greatly when saving people or when you're fighting.
ですが、この先に進むのなら、捨てた痛みを取り戻しなさい。
That said, if you plan on moving ahead, make sure you regain the sense of pain you've lost.
苦痛を自分から無視する人間に、痛みに苦しむ少女は救えません。
After all, saving someone who feels no pain cannot begin to save a maiden in suffering. He went on to say that it could be recovered if the origin was psychogenetic. And with that, Lucas turned his back to him.
それでは、合流後の祭典を楽しみにしていますよ。イブ君。
Now then, I look forward to giving you your score once we meet again, Yves. With everything needed to be said, Lucas quickly ran toward the enemies that lay in wait. Yves scratched his head, wondering how Lucas had noticed. He didn't decide to lose his sense of pain. After the fire, he was bullied to the point of injury on a regular basis. Aww. Each time he told himself that the pain he felt wasn't as bad as the burns. Then one day, his pain vanished. He lost his sense of pain from the burns and the new wounds that followed. The doctor he saw said that it wasn't something that could be fixed easily, but Yves kept the words of his former teacher in the back of his mind. Noticing his mask was slightly off, he pushed it back into position. This could be the first time he was fighting someone by himself. Alright. Thank you for coming, 11 Pixie. It's good having you here. I'll have to see you again. You have a good night. Goodbye. This could be the first time he was fighting someone by himself. Yves always had his trusted friends and allies with him to give him support. But now... no. They were still with him.
言ってくるよ。アドルフ、ヒューゴ。
I'll be going, Adolf. Hugo. Yves smiled and waved his hand at the vision of his friends, then set off into the depths of the facility. Ah! Pain surged through my body as my cells slowly ran through genetic modification. My sense of despair looming even stronger from seeing the screen in front of me.
だから、俺たちのことも寿命のことも気にするな。
So don't worry about us or everyone else's longevity.
悲観的な俺の妹をどうか頼む。
Take care of my poor little sister, okay?
やだ。待ってくれ、アドルフ。あいつが俺を兄と呼ぶときを結構楽しみにしていたんだがな。
You know, I actually liked how she sometimes called me her brother. With his back turned to me, Science calmly observed what was happening. No. No! I screamed inside the capsule. Why? Why, Adolf? You said that you would save this country, the people, so why?
前言撤回と言ったはずだ。救いを拒否したのは連中の方だぞ。
I said before that it was rescinded. If anyone's at fault, it's them for refusing my hand of salvation. But... Yeah! My brash but gentle, kind, dear brother. I only caused him trouble, and I never once repaid him for his kindness. Which is why I wanted to repay Adolf by saving Cyan, by having Cyan extend everyone's longevity, so that he could find happiness too. I thought he'd be happy! The pain that was surging through me took a different meaning. It's too late. I took too much time. If the experiment began sooner, then Adolf, everyone would have pulled back, saying that it was too late. No one would have had to die for me. My nails bit deep into my arm as I embraced myself. Hurry and kill me! Hurry! Hurry! Kill me before anyone else dies.
その望みは叶えてやりたいが、急激に毒素を放出すると手がつけられなくなる。
I'd be happy to grant your wish, but I can't allow all you toxins to be released at once.
18年耐えてきたのだろう。あと数分程度の処理、待つことはできんのか。
You've endured it for 18 years, haven't you? Wait a few more minutes, and your wish will come true. Cyan entered something into the system as I continued to hyperventilate from stress. I could tell that I was slowly turning into some other being. The chills running down my spine were just enough to drive me mad. My body twitched, and I couldn't keep myself upright. Even so. Please, hurry and kill me. What I was going through now wasn't comparable to what Yves was feeling now.
セレス
I looked up, hearing a familiar voice. The kind voice was coming from behind a door, along with a splatter of blood. No! Stop him, Cyan! Please don't let him come inside! I pleaded to him, as he was the only one who could access the lock on the door.
当たり前だろう。敵をわざわざ迎え入れるバカがいるか。だが。
Of course I won't. No idiot would allow their enemy in, that said.
少し遅かったようだな。
It seems it's too late. Huh? Cyan was focused on the system in front of him. He stared intently at the glaring red error displayed on the screen.
エラー。外部からの不正な処理により、セキュリティシステムが解除されました。
An unauthorized external process has disarmed the security system.
内部にいる人間はマニュアルに従い対処してください。繰り返します。エラー。
All facility staff must follow the system manual. Repeats. Error.
俺のシステムに侵入できる技術者の数など限られている。
Guess who it is? It's Donuts. Only a few of my staff are able to hack into my system.
ダハト、お前はそちらについたか。もう少し賢明な男だと思っていたんだがな。
Donut? So you're on their side now? I thought you were smarter than this.
今さら気づいても遅いですよ
Too late for you, isn't it? Suddenly, the system screen displayed a video of Donut with his tongue sticking out.
なぜ俺の邪魔をする？お前は母を普通の人間として蘇らせたいんじゃなかったのか？
Why are you getting in my way? Don't you want to revive your mother into a normal human?
そうですね正直迷ったと言いますか
Yeah, but I guess I was slightly confused.
ぶっちゃけ僕も突入するまでは割とシアンさん派でしたよ
To be honest, I was actually on your side until they barged in, Cyan.
ならなぜ？
Then why?
シアンさんあなたは僕がこの世で2番目に尊敬する最初から普通の生を望む人間
Cyan. The second most important person I look up to is someone who wants to live life the way it was meant to be lived.
ナディアの兄であるリュカさんに手を出し彼女に寂しい思いをさせたつまり
That person is Nadia's brother, Monsieur Proust. You did some bad things to him and made his little sister sad.
僕は今
Anyone who makes Nadia sad is punished,
心底腹が立っている
even if it's Cyan. So I'm actually pretty pissed right now.
理由などそれだけで十分要するに僕はあなたの大嫌いな感情論で裏切りの決断をしたわけだ
That's all the reason I needed. I betrayed you because I was swayed by my emotions. I know how much you hate that.
ち、そんなくだらん理由で。
For all the damn reasons. I love the little star they have.
どこのどなたさんですかね
Sure, it's a stupid reason. But I wonder who actually got infiltrated because of it, hmm?
というわけで日頃の恨みもありますし
There you have it. I had issues with you before anyway, so...
上司に乗り気味なシアンさんは一回彼に殴られて反省してください
I think it's high time the almighty Cyan gets smacked around a little until he learns a thing or two. Then his face disappeared from the view, just as the security system finally failed.
結局はこうなるか。
It seems this was unavoidable.
ええ。俺たちクルーンは確かな仕事が売りですからね。一度受けた依頼は必ず完遂します。
Yeah. Karoon guarantees quality results in our work. We will complete any task no matter what. And that held true even if the order was from himself.
お久しぶりです。セレスを返してもらうついでに、あなたの救済を潰しに来ました。
It's been a long time. I came to save Ceres and crush your idea of salvation. Yves. He came to take away salvation from death. The young hero, transforming into someone bigger, smiled with bravado. Yves apparently knew where I was from my voice. He looked straight at me as I quickly forgot my pain and leave. Leave me alone before I kill you again. Just
やだ。
no. Yves looked away as if pouting. Uh-huh. Contrary to the mood of the situation, Cyan burst out laughing, seeing me denied in seconds. I dismissed his laughter and continued my refusal of Yves' reckless behavior. I don't want any more of your kindness or love. It's been proven I really am death. I wasn't spreading misfortune to others. I was misfortune itself. Yes, I was a fool to think I could actually dream. I was the one who killed the children at the orphanage. I gave you your burn scars, and I made the people persecute you. I was the one who killed Hugo and Adolf. It's all my fault. To hell with wanting to be a normal girl. It was absurd from the beginning. I was never a normal girl to begin with. So please, leave me alone. I want to die. I want to repent for my life. So please, don't get in my way. I can finally save someone. I have to do it. I did my best to push Yves away. I only needed to convince him further. No matter what Yves said, I would tell him that I didn't want to live anymore.
その通りだね。君のせいじゃないとはもう言わない。
Yeah. You're absolutely right. I can't deny the fact that everything is your fault.
意図的ではないにせよ。君は確かに 他者に死を招く死神だった。
Even if it was unintentional, it's true that you brought death to others, as death itself. Huh? My eyes widened. The kind Yves that I knew just spoke those cruel facts. But I couldn't deny what he said. Still, I was surprised that, of all people, it was him telling me so. The next thing he said surprised me more.
でもだからなんだっていうの？いっそ開き直っちゃおうよ。
What does it matter? Just be honest about it.
自分は意地悪な死神なので、見ず知らずの他人を救う力は一かけらもありません。ってね。
Just tell everyone that you're the mean spirit to death who has no power to save complete strangers. Huh? Of all things for him to say. That's horrible. Do you realize what you're saying? The people of Apachel finally had a miracle to extend their lives beyond 23 years. He was telling me to throw it all away.
うん。最低なことを言ってる自覚はある。
Yeah. I know I'm saying something horrible.
でも、見ず知らずの他人より、俺はどんなに罪深くても、
But I want to
君の
prioritize
命
your
を優
life,
先したい。
no matter how sinful you may be, over some persons I don't know. I thought you had a grudge against me.
そりゃ、恨んでるよ。でもそれ以上に、君が好きだから。
Well,
自
yeah,
分ではど
I
うしよう
do.
もない。
But I love you more, and that's something I can't deny. It doesn't have to be me. There are others out there who will love you instead of...
他の人じゃ嫌なんだ。俺の醜い顔に口づけを施すのは、君だけであってほしい。
I don't want someone else's love. I want my love to be you, the person who kissed my hideous face. He responded boldly to everything I said. I suppose it was proof of his newfound priorities. Yves gave me a bright and innocent smile under his mask. I finally realized
俺はもう、意味のない愛は振りまかない。
I have no intention of sharing meaningless love like before. It was the death of his love for humanity.
共に苦しんでいこう、セレス。自分を許せないなら、幸せになんてならなくてもいい。
Let's suffer together, Ceres. If you can't forgive yourself, then I don't need to be happy.
俺は君と共に、トガを背負いながら、苦しんででも生きていきたい。
I want to be with you. I want to live life with you, bearing your sins and suffering. The young man reaching out to me was here simply because he sought the love of one girl.
これまで、すべての人を愛した分、
I've shared my love with plenty of people before now. But
俺は、世界で唯一、君のことだけを愛するよ。
Aww. From now on, you're the only one in the world I will love. It was a love only for me. Yves. Slowly, ever so slowly, I spoke his name like dripping water. His name triggered my emotions. No, no. Stop, don't say that. Emotions contrary to my words rose from within. I want everything to end. I didn't want things to end. I don't have the right to live. I wanted to live. I don't want you near me. I wanted him near me. My words gradually changed to match my emotions. From the depths of despair, I finally raised my voice. I can finally save someone myself.
救いの大半である他人と俺たち、どっちが大事？君が死ぬなら俺も死ぬって言ったらどうする？
Which is more important to you? Saving people you don't know, or our relationship? What if I told you I would die if you died? It's so unfair of you to say that. The kind Yves I knew had turned into a bully so quickly. It was like he turned into a demon.
そうだよ。
We love demons.
俺はずるいんだ。愛する君を生かすためなら、どんな最低な言葉も吐いてやる。
That's right. I am mean. I'll say whatever needs to be said, even if it's horrible. If it keeps my beloved alive. I finally found joy in meaning in dying. But hearing the words he spoke, I wanted to live now, even if it meant living in despair. The country's savior brought us back to reality of what was happening.
話は済んだか？これ以上は俺も待ってやれん。
Are you two finished? I have no intention of waiting much longer. He crushed the stone slate with his iron-soled shoes, then glared at Yves with cold eyes. He showed no compassion or friendliness toward the person with whom he once enjoyed a night of drinks. Yves?
すぐに戻ってくるよ。二度目の告白の返事は、その時によろしく。
I'll be back. I hope you give me an answer once I confess my love to you again.
いい加減俺も、堂々と君を愛せるようになりたいから。
After all, I think it's high time I shower you with my love. Yves put his hands against the capsule, and I reached out to put my hands on his. I couldn't feel his warmth, but instead, I could feel the beat of our different pulses, overlapping each other. I wonder how this is going to end out. So I'm going to open my drink. My throat is parched. There we go. Yves reluctantly moved his hand from the capsule and turned to face Cyan. Judging by the look on his face, Cyan didn't seem to be very worried about his equipment in danger. About his equipment in danger of being destroyed. Yves remembered the unbreakable glass wall and quickly realized it would be difficult to break the capsule to save her.
なんだか少し苛立ってます？
You seem irritated.
一目置いていた生き物にこうも失望させられてはな。
Of course I am. Especially after being let down by you, of all people.
いかなる感情も不要としている俺にとって
I don't see value in having emotions, any of them. Cyan tapped his temple with his finger to signify Yves's burn mark.
不要な感覚や感情を自分の意志で遮断できるお前は理想の機能を持つ人間だ。
You are the ideal human that possess the ability to cut off unnecessary emotions and senses through pure strength of will.
苦しみ、悲しみ、恨み、妬み。お前はそういった負の感情を火傷の痛みとともに捨ててきたのだろう。
You discarded your emotions such as suffering, sorrow, hatred, envy, and more, along with the pain from your burns, right? Cold sweat appeared on Yves's forehead, realizing that someone else knew his secret. Cyan knew it was a fact, but he posed it in the form of a question to make Yves nod in agreement.
俺も感情は希薄な方だが、人間に合わせるための最低限の入出力は持ち合わせているのでな。
I also don't exhibit many emotions, but I still have the minimum output set to conform to societal expectations.
ままならない研究には苛立ち、痛みがあれば顔を歪める。
I get frustrated when my research doesn't go well. I frown when I'm in pain. Which is why Cyan showed great interest and admiration toward Yves, who was able to suppress his emotions on his own. But now,
愛などというこの世で最もくだらん感情に振り回されているんだ。落胆もする。
I was interested in you, but you truly let me down by showing yourself being swayed by the most useless emotion of all, love.
最終通告だ。俺の邪魔をするなら容赦なく殺す。
This is my last warning. I'll kill you if you get in the way.
今のお前では俺に勝てない。数分打ち合えば倒れるだろう。
You can't beat me in your state. A few minutes should be enough to take you down.
だったらその数分以内にあなたを叩きのめして言うことを聞かせればいい。
Well then, I'll just have to beat you before that happens. And force you to listen to me.
お前らしい意見だな。
As expected from you. Alright, let's fight. Go! The scientists trying to save this country, and the Guardian trying to extinguish that hope. With the weight of other lives on their backs, the battle between good and evil finally began.